Untitled.com. Whether you've been injured in an accident, you're preparing for a future with your estate planning, you're getting ready to close in on a real estate deal, or you're about to welcome a new addition through adoption into your family, or you're facing criminal charges, you need very experienced attorneys, and that is what the Drake Williams Law Firm will be able to do for you in navigating the legal system. The door to their cozy office in historic downtown Ponchatoula has been open since 1981. They have helped thousands and thousands of Louisiana families and individuals win cases, close on real estate deals, and regain that peace of mind. Their lawyers over at the Drake Williams Law Firm, Ernie Drake III, Ryan J. Williams, and Summer Vignair, are very determined, compassionate, and dedicated to their craft. It's the Drake Williams Law Firm, drakewilliamslawfirm.com. Give them a call today at 985-386-7600. Tell them your good friend Blake Ruffino at AYS sent you on by.
All right, we got LSU wide receiver Chris Hilton Jr. joining us. Bro, what's the UGLY shirt? Like, can you explain what the shirt represents? What's going on, brother?
So I think I was in Lake Charles. I think that's where they're located, and it means you gotta love yourself, basically.
Okay. See, now I can't, Chris. See, I was going to make a joke about the Little Giants movie, the football movie, when the guy's like, UGLY, you ain't got no alibi, you ugly. But I love that. You got to love yourself, man. That's awesome. That's awesome. Is there like a promotion thing or something like that you were a part of?
I just went in there.
Okay.
I was with my mom visiting my grandparents, and we stopped by the mall. They were in there.
I love it. I love it. I love the shirt too. All right, Chris Hilton joined us. Chris, let's talk about on the field. Man, look, we're about 90 days away from opening kickoff for you guys. In the Superdome, you're going against Florida State. Let's talk about the offense, though. Mike Denbrock is a guy that's called offensive plays a lot of places. Cincinnati, Notre Dame, Grand Valley State, and now LSU. Have you what are your thoughts about the OC and Mike Denbrock and how he calls plays, how he does things at practice? What has been your initial thoughts of Coach Denbrock?
All right, well, for me, what I would say, he's very interactive with the players on the field and off the field. That's one thing for me that stands out about him. And as far as like offense-wise, like I said in the previous episodes, like the offense fits like who we are. So we're allowed to showcase what we could do.
So, Chris, we talked about the RPO stuff, right? Like this spring game. I don't know if you would call it a rub route. I don't know the verbiage that y'all are doing it. The catch you had for the first down. Is that something that you feel like you're built more towards? You know, the quick slant game, doing some things, obviously getting vertical with your speed. But do you feel like this benefits your game more than maybe I know you hadn't been in a lot of offenses in your career, but how do you feel like this fits your game from top to bottom?
For me, I would say like the big play opportunities that the offense has, like taking shots down the field, also with the quick stuff that you could turn into big plays.
Chris, when you're with your quarterback, okay, and in the off season, I mean, look, you've played with already some really talented quarterbacks, whether it be high school. I mean, look, and even Max Johnson a season ago, Miles Brennan, Jane Daniels, Garrett Nussmeier, Walker Howard. The short stuff feels like it can come a little bit quicker, right? Like maybe you can get the timing down a little bit quicker on a slant or things like that. When it starts getting to the deeper stuff, just how much do you have to practice that to perfect that in the game, in your opinion?
A bunch, really, because different routes have different tempos. You got to know where to put the ball. You have to know where to be. You have to know where the landmark is. So it takes a bunch of practice.
Right. And so when you're doing that and you have to rep it, and do all of these things, is there a point or a certain point that you start feeling comfortable about the connection between you or quarterback, maybe rub routes, you and the receiver? Is there a certain point that you're just like, all right, now this is starting to work? I mean, is that when it just in practice, or when for you in your experience do you notice that you and the quarterback are just locked in on some of those kinds of things?
So like if we throw in by ourselves and then you take it and you do it in practice, that's when I feel like the confidence is there from both of us that we can get it done.
So we talked about Coach Mike Denbrock. Have you watched any of like some of the games that he's called in the past? Like look, Alabama versus Cincinnati last year was a very close game, and there were times that he was picking apart Alabama's defense, but they didn't have guys like you on the outside to maybe catch some passes in the end zone. Have you watched Coach Denbrock against like Alabama and stuff like that, and what he's done in the past, or you kind of just focus on what you guys are doing now?
I just focus on what we're doing now because what's going on right now is like what matters the most.
Right. I mean, you start looking into so many other stuff. You start thinking, well, why aren't we doing this? Why aren't we doing that? And sometimes it doesn't always work like that with personnel, right? Like you got to be careful with that. Chris, this week, and I don't know how much you look at this stuff. You know, we talked about this before the show, but the projections came out for you guys this week of going at least or 6.5 wins. When you see something like that, does it bother you? Do you look into it? Does it fuel you? And even take us even maybe a little step closer. Do you guys in the locker room chat about any of that kind of stuff?
Well, for me, I don't look at it because, like I said, you never know what could happen. And it doesn't get talked about much in the locker room because Coach Kelly always tells us, don't worry about the future. Just take things day by day, like worry about the now.
How much is he preaching that to you guys, Chris? I mean, like, look, again, we're going to continue to talk about that, but that's like the 4th time you said that since we've, started bringing you on. I mean, is that something like is he walking around the locker room being like, focus on today, guys, let's go, like, because everybody's talking about that. Is that just the thing he continues to preach day in and day out or something?
We heard it almost every day during spring ball.
It's kind of like beating in your head to this point, right?
Yeah.
I feel you. Fire in your questions for Chris. Hashtag Ask Chris. You got anything? Fireman, and we'll start asking. Chris, we're just update every week. We'll get into stuff more deeply involved in with you. How is this week going? I mean, look, you got the freshmen coming in, a lot of guys moving back into the locker room and everything like that. Is it start getting a little bit more real for you? Last week we talked about, and you talked about so greatly about locking in. Buddy, we're about 90 days into this or 90 days away from it. When things, it's like I don't want to say, Chris, it's like a smell in the air. I don't mean it like that, but there's a feeling in the air that football's near, right? Are you starting to feel that?
Yeah, most definitely. Because we start workouts in a few weeks, so it's almost that time.
Oh, so y'all start? You said y'all start in a couple weeks.
I think next week. I want to say we start.
Hey, bro, get a lot of rest. you got to get a lot of rest. Drink water. I feel you, bro. So when we were at Southeastern, okay, we had the jugs of water. Gallon water, but we used to have to. They called them jugs, bro. Yeah. We had to run if we didn't have our jugs. Like they're making us run stadium bleachers at Strawberry Stadium if we didn't have jugs. Good and dang well my big butt had that jug. Like I attached it to my book sack. I was so worried again. God, not having to run bleachers, man. But look, the dog days of summer. They're always not fun. Chris, let me ask you this. Look, you've been here. This is going on your 2nd season. Obviously in spring, obviously in practice, and even last year, you're going against a lot of guys. That's your teammates. Is there anybody that gets under your skin? Anybody that like is a trash talker the reason I ask that is because look, if you're going against him, he's going against you, and the both of you guys, iron sharpen iron. Who's the biggest trash talker on the defense, or really just the team in general?
Probably Jay Ward.
Jay Ward. Okay. Why Jay? I mean, Jay seems pretty calculated. Jay seems pretty doesn't say a lot, but he talks a lot of trash on the field.
Nonstop.
You say anything back to him? Be like, hey, bro, I just got you on that one.
Nah, I don't do too much talking.
So you're like the Larry Fitzgerald of the LSU wide receivers. You just let your play do the talking then.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say Mike Jones. Who? I could see Mike Jones being the guy talking a lot. Jay Ward was not what I was expecting at all.
Up there.
All right, so you don't say has there ever been a guy that got on your skin too much where you do start having to say something? Because me, look, dude, I'm a big mouth. Somebody starts sharpening me, I'm just going to keep going. Anybody got on your skin so much, or are you that focused and locked in and not letting anybody get in your head?
I don't think nobody's really like got me to that point yet. I don't think so, no.
I feel you. All right, I got one good question I want to get to, but let's save it for the end. Let's get to a couple of these fan questions. Dylan Allen says, #Ask Chris, what was your reaction to Tyron and Jarvis coming home to the States? I know that we touched on that a little bit, but were you able to? I know Jarvis and Fournette and Tyron were able to come to the facilities. Were you able to talk to those guys, meet them? How was that experience for you?
I didn't have the chance to meet any of them, but like I said, we all heard Tyron talk in the meeting room.
When he was talking, what did you think? Like, what were your thoughts on all of that?
The one thing I took in was he always talked about the fundamentals, and like all the plays that he made when he was in college was just him listening to his coach. So he applied the fundamentals from football also to life, and that's why he is where he is now.
Chris, how old were you in 2011? How old were you?
I don't know.
How old are you now? 18, 19, 20?
19.
The reason Chris I ask is because was Tyron the guy, like, so Kevin Falk was the guy for me, right? Like growing up, you turn on LSU football, Booger McFarland, Kevin Falk, that's all you saw. Cecil Collins, that's all you saw, right? Was Tyron, when you're coming up and you're a young man, was Tyron the guy that you always watched? Like, was he the figure of LSU that was always there for you?
I would say yeah, because I remember watching his highlights day in and day out when he was here.
Yeah, look, I mean, he I could watch it every day, honestly. The Georgia stuff, like the Georgia return punts.
Yeah.
Right? Like that, it's insane. Do you take anything like, and Chris, I'm not trying to spill any secrets here, and you don't have to. If you're on special teams or if you're not returning punch or kicks, don't give that out. Do you learn anything from him though on how he returned punts, kicks, stuff like that? Is that the stuff that you watch of him the most, or what did you watch of him the most? Like what was he doing?
Punt returning. Being able to field the ball while also looking down at the defense, because that's something that's pretty hard to do when you're back there.
Have you perfected that, or have you tried to perfect that yet?
I'm getting there.
Okay. All right. I dig it. Go ahead. What were you saying?
Slowly but surely, I'm getting there.
I love it. Aaron McKenzie says, #Ask Chris, how excited is he about this team's chances this year? Chris, we've talked to multiple players, yourself included. We've talked to coaches, and all of them have said the same thing, that they feel as if that they're more excited than they've been the last couple of seasons. How are you on that same train with them about the excitement of this upcoming season?
Yeah, I'm definitely with them because like new coaching staff, you got new players coming in. Like the sky's the limit for us, really.
So you say sky's the limit. What gives you that? I don't want to say confidence, Chris. You know what I mean? Like you're always confident, and you got to be confident, okay? But when you say it like that, what gives you that confidence? Is there something going on that gives you all of that confidence?
I would say like you could just feel it at practice, really. Like that's how I felt while we were out there practicing.
Look, when you're out there and it's happening like that, that's where, Chris, that's 95% of the confidence. That's where it's going to come from. That's where it's going to come from. All right, I got to ask a question. So we're diving deeper into you more. We did it last week. We're doing it again this week. 2, and we'll get you out of here. When you're done with the NFL and you retire and you're getting fitted for your gold jacket, and you invite the Ruffino family to come to to your Hall of Fame speech, we'll be there. What does Chris Hilton do in retirement? Right? Like, are you a beach guy? Do you want to go up to the mountains? Do you want to like live in the woods? Like, you ever envision stuff like that? Like, I want a beach house, man. Like my wife wants it, I want it. But what does Chris Hilton do when it's all said and done, the career's over? You ever thought about that?
Yeah, a beach house does sound nice, but I would probably travel. That's probably what I would do. Just travel anywhere, like out the country and stuff. Because I've never been out the country.
Okay, you have not. Well, I will tell you, it's intense. The bigger towns, bigger cities you go to, it's intense. So if you haven't been out of the city, you've been to a lot of places. Obviously, I would assume, maybe just through LSU, maybe in the SEC. Where are some of your favorite places that you've traveled so far?
I think Tennessee was cool. That was like when I was younger. I went on vacation with my family. So I went there in Orlando. That was one. I went for basketball, but that was a nice vacation.
Oh, dude, we talked about this too, and I forgot you love basketball. I forgot about this.
Yeah.
This is me just being clueless. Bro, you watching the NBA semifinals right now?
Some of it. Not really.
Some of it. Bro, when you watch someone like Steph Curry shoot it from the moon and drain a three, like, dude, this guy's so ridiculous, man. I mean, who is your favorite guy on the court?
Favorite guy on the court? Jason Tatum.
Oh, Jason. Okay, why? Why you like? Everybody says they like Jason. I don't know. What is it about Jason?
He just nice with it. I mean, that's it.
Hey, he did have a nice game the other day. You got to give him that. Your dad, Chris Hilton Sr., says, travel, you're going to take mom and dad. So, are you taking mom and dad?
Yeah, I'm taking them.
Hey, the most PC answer of all time. I dig it. All right, Chris. Look, if you had an NBA Finals pick, we're here. Who you think's going to be in the finals?
I want the Celtics. And who's on the opposite side?
It's Golden State and Dallas.
I want the Celtics. That's all I really care about. I just want the Celtics there.
Is that your favorite team, or is it just your favorite team because Tatum's on there?
Tatum's on there.
I feel you. I was the same way with LeBron, man. I mean, because Chris, growing up, we didn't have the Hornets at that time. I went like 13 years of my life, and the Hornets weren't here. I had to pick somebody. Anyway, yeah. All right, Chris, you've been fantastic as always, man. Everybody, go follow Chris right here on Twitter, Instagram. I am